Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's online virtual Toastmasters meet of the orators in the cloud. So today it's an important meet since because we would be voting to elect our new officers. Since today's agenda is about election, I would like to speak a few words on power. So there was once a powerful quote that was said by one of the by Abraham Lincoln that says, "Can nearly all can withstand adversity, but to test a person's true character, we need to give them power." So this can be thought of in two ways. So when given power, uh, a person we might have a higher opinion or a lower opinion on. For example, if we have a person who we think a low of, or who we may think is not fit for a particular role or job, may turn out to be a great leader or a great fit for that role. On the second thought, on a negative front, if we have a great perspective on someone and who we think would make a great leader, but at the end would perform worse or would not meet up to the expectations or can misuse the power. So at the end, power can bring a true nature of some person. So with that, I would like to state some of the ground rules for today's meet. The first one would be, please do not use taboos like sex, religion, like sex, religion, and politics. And please refrain from using mobile phones. And please do not switch between screens. And always turn on your videos. And always applaud when a speaker completes his or her speech. And when the hands over is done. So with that, I would conclude my speech, and I would also again like to thank everyone for joining this meet. And now I would like to hand over the meet to our presiding officer, Toastmaster Hind.
Hello, can somebody give me a thumbs up if they can hear me? Because once again, my MacBook is acting up, so it is possible. I cannot even see on mute. Okay, thank you, Sumedh. Thank you for that continued thumbs up. Warm welcome to everybody. 11 of us here. I was truly hoping that more people would show up. I in fact pinged many of the members personally, but I guess this is the holiday season, and even with the year that we just had, the holiday season still stands. But it is very warm and welcoming to see so many faces over here. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. Before we proceed on with the elections, I would like to take a minute to thank the executive committee that served this club for the past 6 months. So for those who don't know, the term for this executive committee began in July of 2020, and it is going to end on December the 31st of 2020. And that is why we are here. Basically, we are here to elect a new executive committee and bid farewell to the current committee. Uh, Honestly, not all the members of the committee are here, who are definitely being missed, but wherever they are, I extend my sincere gratitude to them for continuing on with their role in these times, which honestly is not at all an easy thing to do. If you are in office, you can just stand up on your desk, look at Sumedh or look at Arjun and be like, hey, come on, you're taking that role. No, you cannot say no. But now you can just ping Sumedh and Sumedh can happily ignore you and you can do nothing about that. So thank you all for taking your role seriously, following through your roles, and making this club as successful as it is right now in these times. Having said that, let's talk about the elections that we are going to have today. In a usual election meeting, the way it goes forth is, if there are multiple nominations for a role, the different nominees come forth and put forth their own take on what the role is and how they will take it forward, what they will do with the role. And once every nominee has spoken, the rest of the club, other than the two nominees, vote for one or the other person, and whoever gets the most vote wins. I wish that was the case in our election meeting as well, but there is only one role which has more than one nomination, and that is the role of president. Me and this guy on my left, at least on my screen, he's on my left, Sumedh, we are butting it out for the role of president. Every other role has only one nomination. But to keep up with the tradition, the nominee will come forth and talk about the role and what they are going to do with the club, with the role, and actually for the club. So we will begin with the SAA, secretary, treasurer, and then we'll go through all the VPs and then eventually to the president. Everybody with me on that? Great, thank you. So timer, please note that every nominee gets 2 minutes to speak. Once they are done with their 2 minutes, please the red card. Thank you. So we will begin with SAA, and after, as explained by himself, after my boarding, he agreed to nominate himself for the SA. Please welcome nominee Phil for the role of Sergeant at Arms.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. I would like to put myself forward as Sergeant at Arms for this coming period. Responsibilities for the SAA are somewhat diminished in the current climate. There's no physical room to set up. There's no door at which I'm going to be greeting people coming in. My interest in this role is in part because it's a unique opportunity for me to act as Sergeant at Arms within the Officers in the Cloud Club. Whilst we're in the cloud, it's something that I can do. Otherwise, I would absolutely not be traveling backwards and forwards every couple of weeks just to meet and greet you all, I'm afraid. This will be my first executive committee role, and as a relatively new member to date, my speaking roles have mostly been limited to the table topics and to our counter. I have acted as SAA on one occasion, so I do have a little bit of an appreciation of what I'm supposedly letting myself in for. I'm relishing the opportunity to speak more regularly and to improve the way that I speak. As Sergeant at Arms, I'll be setting up meetings to run smoothly and working with the executive committee in order to help the meetings and overall success of the club. In order to help meetings run smoothly, I'll be encouraging prompt attendance, making sure that people have the digital resources that they need, and opening our meetings and laying out the ground rules. I'm hoping to do this in an efficient, friendly, and approachable manner. I do have a confession. In fact, it's not so much of a confession now that Hind has outed me. I wasn't originally going to put myself forward for a role. I told myself that I was too busy, that I was too new, that someone else would step up. Well, yeah, Hind gave me a gentle nudge, so I am here to say, yeah, I am willing to make the time. I am willing to stretch myself. And of course, if not us, well, who? And if not now, then when? So with that in mind, I would like to preemptively thank all the other nominees that I hope to be working with very soon. And I humbly ask that you vote for me. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters.
Thank you, Phil. All right. Moving on, in a general election, no words of praise are to be given from a chairperson to a nominee. So I'll reserve my praises till the end when Phil is officially announced as the Sergeant at Arms. For now, moving on to the treasurer nominee, we have once again just one nominations, and that is from our current treasurer and hopefully the future and forever treasurer, nominee Arjun. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Today I, Arjun Khattri, with full dedication, submit my name for the role of treasurer. As you can see, I was your treasurer before, but I couldn't get enough of the role for one term. So I thought, why not repeat again? And join this role. As you can see, I really love money. I've said that before as well, so I do not need to reiterate the love for money I have. And it was fun re-extending your memberships and using my debit card for that. Hopefully, I got extra points as well for those transactions for my debit card. And then later on, getting the money back from you. It was also very fun converting the dollars into how me. That also gave me an idea of how the US dollar and Indian conversion rates is going on as of now. And I hopefully plan to keep this momentum going. I can be a much better treasurer this term. Due to the pandemic, we all haven't been in the same place, so I haven't been able to arrange gifts for you, and we haven't had any goodies as well. But this term, you never know what if we come back to the office. I don't think we'll come back to the office by October, but still, I really hope that I have some extra work as the treasurer. With that being said, I'm glad that I will become the main winner because there isn't anybody who's opposing me as of now. I don't know whether they're scared of me or whether they're scared of the role, but it's all right as long as I get to be the treasurer. So thank you.
I have so much to say, but I shall reserve my opinions. Moving on, we have the secretary role, for which once again we have just one nomination, and that nomination is from Srinivasan. Srinivasan, please step up.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, fellow Toastmasters. As you know, I am Srinivasan, and I have nominated myself for the role of secretary in this club. So I'm also a new member, and I actually like Hind, managed to convince Phil. Sumedh also managed to convince me to nominate myself for a role, and even I thought so, and I really feel that this is a good opportunity for me to engage with the team more and contribute more. And I found that secretary is a very good opportunity to do the same. So when I saw the roles, I had to maintain club records and handle correspondence and so on. So this will be a good opportunity for me to interact with everyone and then make myself more influenceable and and so on. So I humbly request you to vote for me, and we'll see how it goes. Thank you.
On a side note, stepping off the chairperson chair for a moment, it looks like people who are not being challenged are just taking it in their stride. Like, I'm gonna get the vote. I'm kidding. No pointing fingers at anybody. Thank you very much for that speech, Srinivasan. Once again, back to the chairperson's chair. Moving on, it's time to talk about the VPs. Big names, big responsibilities again. We'll begin with VP PR, for which you might have guessed again, there's only one nomination, and that nomination is by Shreya. Shreya, please step up.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Hind. So like Hind said, I am Shreya and I am standing for the role of VPR, like fingers crossed that I do get it. Firstly, for people who don't already know, I was already the VPPR in the last term as well. And just like Arjun has mentioned, I feel like I have not been able to get the most of the role. So I wish to definitely gain more learning, as continued learning as I did with my last term, as I did with my last term. My main roles and responsibilities will be, just as the name says, create promotional material for the different activities and the achievements of the club. In last term, a large part of my work involved creating promotional content for our weekly meetings. With the learning that I have gained so far regarding that, I hope to be able to contribute more on that front, as well as on the front of being able to celebrate the achievements of our club members here. Along with that, I also hope to have a very strong, I hope to spearhead the PR campaign just like we had done last time. I'm not sure if Sumedh remembers the kind of effort that we had put there. But yeah, I hope to continue and have some sort of an initiative like that as well this time. But I think mostly for me, I am excited to be a part of the executive committee because I know the kind of discussions that happen there and how intellectually stimulating they have been and the kind of learning that I have gained there. So I'm excited to be a part of that, and I'm also excited to welcome the new members who have not experienced that yet to join us, and hopefully we will have a great experience together. I have one last plea. Um, I have, God knows that VP is a lot of work, and I have been flooded with this work the last term as well. So I would request anyone who wants to pursue their creative or artistic abilities to some extent to maybe join me in the associate role. And trust me, I'll make sure that we do have a fun journey together. So that's all I have to say. Thank you, guys. Hope to win.
Thank you, Shreya. Moving on, our next VP role is VP membership, for which no points for guessing, or maybe points for guessing. How many nominations do you think this role has? Somebody says 0. 0 is incorrect because there is one nomination, and that nomination is by someone named Hind Geel. I'm sorry. This
Laughing at your own jokes, self-amusement.
It is funny though, right?
Should we move on to the next role and give him a minute to recover? Sumedh, do you want to take up the VP Ed role nomination? Please go ahead.
sorry.
No, we'll continue with him.
Yeah, as a VP membership, truly look forward to working with the rest of the executive committee to pursue and continue the efforts that the current VP membership, the outgoing VP membership, Abhijit, and the associate VP membership, Supriya, have done. This club, for those who don't know, is not very old. We currently it's the 14th month that we are in, and we have this is our 44th meeting. When this club was started, there was only one person, or to my knowledge at least, there was just one person who had prior experience of Toastmasters, and that was Toastmaster Abhijit. Things that we have figured out as part of running this club, myself, I have been part of the executive committee over the past 2 sessions. So the things that we have figured out as part of running this club are completely new. We have definitely looked at other clubs. We have tried to understand their problems, but the problems that we have faced, we did not get any template to solve them. We did not get any answer sheet. We have just been rolling with it, and we have been figuring newer and newer things out. As a VPPR, I would really love to work with the rest of the executive committee to let other people at Arista know about the value of Toastmasters and what it can add to their lives, and eventually pursue them to take up not just a membership, but consecutively increasing responsibilities and roles, which, if not anything, will help them become a better version of themselves. That is what I look forward to do, and that is what I will aspire to do as a VP membership. And as Shreya said, hope to win. Thank you. Okay, back to chairperson, which is me once again, not laughing at that now. Our next role is VP of Education, for which I guess the millionth time we have just one nomination, and that nomination is by Sumedh. Sumedh, please step up and make your case.
Thank you, outgoing President Hind. Yeah, but there is a reason no one actually took this post up. I just put my name in because we did not want to go into the election without all the posts being fulfilled. So the reason I tell this out here to the wider audience is not to air my dirty or our dirty laundry here, but the basic point being that this post has been found to be perhaps the most burdensome post by the previous officers. This is because VP Ed is involved in everything that the club does. So regardless of whoever is the VPN, and I hope it is not me, uh, I, I, I firmly feel that we need to make sure or come up with a process to make sure that all of us take up our roles properly within the officers executive committee or otherwise, and make sure we come over our own inertia. So that's basically what I would want to achieve if I were a VP of education. But basically, the whole fact lies on individual responsibility as much as it is me or whoever the VP Ed would be running around that person. So, what I would want to do, whichever position I do end up getting, would be to basically make sure that the VP Ed works with the executive committee to make sure everyone who have not have had such big responsibilities take a part of the VPA responsibility, own a part of that responsibility, and make sure that we are more effective going forward. I think that is something that we have missed by country mile in the past, and I hope that we get that fixed going forward. As far as the job role is concerned, I would be happy to incorporate any suggestions or feedback from your end, because that is basically what my job is, to make sure that you develop and in that the club develops. So I'm open to this role as I'm open to the other role, but eventually it boils down to uh, whoever does this needs to do it right. And so I just put my name forward. For those who are worrying, oh, what will happen if Sumedh becomes president, who will be VPA? Don't worry, we'll find someone really good and really interested to do this job as well. So no roles are going to go unfulfilled. With that, I'd like to hand over the stage back to the President Pro Tem, Hind.
Dodging the dish that was thrown at the start. Moving on to our final role of the executive committee, which is the role of the president. Sorry, president. We have, surprise, surprise, 2 nominations. So, so we will go ahead with our first nominee, and then the second nominee, and then we'll have a voting. We'll talk about the voting once the voting time comes and how the voting is to be done. For now, please welcome once again Sumedh for nominee as a president.
Thank you again, Toastmaster Hind. My whole purpose of putting my name forward as the president for this club, president-elect for this club, was to make sure that we focus on the right things moving forward. We have done wonderfully in the past 14 months. We are not an old club. We have done wonderfully. We did suffer through a pandemic phase, and I am thankful to both the previous presidents, Toastmaster Abhijit and Toastmaster Hind, for keeping this club alive. Now is not the time to make sure that we are just alive, but we have to make sure that everyone actually gets the benefits for what they paid up for. And there is no one who is dodging responsibility. We need to take this up by ourselves. So under Sumedh administration, you would find that all of us come together, work hard, make sure we take up our individual responsibilities, make sure we develop ourselves, and the club does better too. So I have had multiple discussions with multiple members before on how we can achieve these things, and I feel the best way to serve this club is via the top post, and I reluctantly would want to do that at this point. In the next 6 months, we probably will be in the same state as we are right now. That would be the virtual meets. And so I look forward to making meaningful change in the short term while also establishing a president for the long term. So with that in mind, that was the basic precept with which I put my nomination forward. I have no animus versus the current president or the previous presidents. I think he is a wonderful guy, and we have done whatever we could have done to make sure the club survived. Our demo meetings and all the efforts that we put in there are a testament to that fact. The only reason I'm standing up here asking for your vote is because I think at this point the focus needs to change on the individual responsibilities, making sure we are actually getting the benefits for what we paid for. And in that term, I think there is a lot of work to do, and I'm planning on driving that change myself. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Hill. You are on mute.
Thank you. And the final nomination for the president is from myself. So I'll present my case. I have already mentioned that this is a pretty new club, but the effect of the pandemic is compounded when you think about the time that we have spent meeting online. This is the 44th meeting, as I have already mentioned, and among those, around 30 meetings have sorry, not 30, around 27 meetings have been online and only 17 meetings have been offline. This is not a new normal for us. This is how the normal is for a bunch of people here. Examples are Raghav, Phil, Hillol, Navjot and Srinivasan. They have seen only this version of the meetings. This version of the meeting definitely has setbacks, but the setbacks are not clear to people who have not met offline or in person. And I see this as the core point to pursue further, wherein we milk this opportunity the best and not think about what we are missing. We have always been thinking about, in fact, for the first 4 months, once the pandemic was hit, we were constantly comparing online meetings with offline meetings, and were thinking about how to generate people's interest so that they are maybe 70% as interested in Toastmasters as they were before pandemic. But I think that is a futile effort. This is a different medium. This is how a lot of people are communicating. This is how a lot of people are coming together, discussing things, putting projects together, earning a livelihood. And that makes this medium a very important medium to not just be good at, but excel at. Because this, once again, this medium is the future. I aspire to lead the executive committee to help every individual member understand what best they can get out of Toastmasters and pursue that. That is another learning that I've had as a president, as the current president, and as the VP education of the last term. Toastmasters is not the same thing for everybody. It's not a place to learn fancy words or become much more confident standing in front of stage. It's not just that. It is a very subjective thing for an individual. For me, it could be my way of communicating well with my team members. For somebody else, it could be just a medium to become better at communicating with their children. It is a very subjective platform, and I wish to lead this executive committee so that every individual member sees Toastmasters for what it can be for them. That is all from my side. Hoping you understand where I'm coming from, and hoping you vote for me. Thank you. Back to the chairperson duties. I suspect I have taken too many duties this time around. Will not do it the next time. So for voting, the ideal way of doing that is using a form. But once again, my MacBook has been acting up since the morning, and I have not been able to create that form. So free transparency, what we'll do is we'll choose a random person right now, and all 9 of you except me and Sumedh post to them. So randomly, can someone raise their hand to votes can be sent? Okay, so everybody please send your votes in personal chat on Zoom to Shreya, who will finally tally and tell the results later on. Shreya, you can tell once all the votes are received.
I'm waiting for one.
Is it yourself?
No.
Okay.
All right, I have all the votes.
Thank you. The winners of all the officer roles will be declared at the end of the meeting. For now, let's move on to a rather interesting portion of the meeting. We have today an icebreaker, which is something that we have not seen in quite a long time for this club. So big day for, in fact, all of us, including the speaker himself. Before we get to that, first of all, we will have the timer on the stage to talk about the timing of the speech. Timer Hillol, please step up.
Hi, is that evaluation?
Sorry?
Hello, is that evaluation or explanation of the rule?
Leonia?
Just an explanation.
So, yeah, somebody saying something, right? Okay, as a timer, my task is to keep track of how much time you are taking for the speech. So I would flash red card when you have crossed the time. It's green card when you know you have just passed the qualifying time, and when it's yellow card, you are about to reach the end time. Okay. So for the first part, I've already kept record of the time, and for the next speeches, I'm going to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Hillol. The evaluator for today's speech is our current VP of membership and past VP of president. A very heavy resume on his name. Let's see how he does as an evaluator. Please welcome Toastmaster Abhijit as the evaluator for today's speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hind. A very good morning and a very good afternoon to all the Toastmasters and orators of the cloud, depending upon where you are. I'm more than happy to actually take up the evaluator role for being the evaluator for an icebreaker. I think it's always a great opportunity for us evaluators to evaluate an icebreaker and really look out for things that this person really brings on the table, may or may not know that, and at the same time help them nudge along, get started in a very nice way into this journey of Toastmasters. So that's exactly what I'm looking for as I'm going to evaluate Toastmaster Avinash's speech today. Toastmaster Avinash, generally people wait for the New Year's to start to come up with New Year resolution that I'll go ahead and give a speech. I'm really happy that you decided to not wait until then and actually chose the last meeting of this year to actually go ahead and give that speech. So with that, I am definitely looking forward to this speech, and not just that, many more speeches for you to come in 2021. Let me let everybody know about what are the objectives of the icebreaker speech. The icebreaker speech is, as the name calls out, is just the first intro when somebody gets in and starts to get and wants to get comfortable in front of the audience. And that's basically where it is. I would not be looking for too many things. Just be comfortable, try to strive to not use notes, and all the best for your first speech. Back to Toastmaster Hind.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhijit. So as the identity of the speaker has already been revealed, I will once again highlight that this is an icebreaker, and if we were in a real room right now, it would have been amazing for all the new folks. You would have seen how we applaud the completion of an icebreaker. If it was in a real room, all of us stand up and clap for the speaker, applaud the speaker for at least a minute. So here, my one request to everybody is, once the icebreaker is complete, show your love, show your applause, show your respect to the speaker. With that, let me call on stage Thank you, Avinash. I have not been as obedient as you, for certain. I was never a class monitor. I was the one who paid. I was the one who paid money always. We also had this rule. I'm not sure how many people, how many here had this rule in their school, that if it was an English medium school and if you do not speak in English, then you have to pay money. I paid a lot of money for that as well.
Yeah.
So from a disobedient person to an obedient person, it's a really fascinating story. Thank you for sharing that. Moving on, on the agenda we have our evaluator, but Abhijit, if you wish to have some more time to collect your thoughts, we can begin with the timer and then come to you.
I'm okay.
All right. Thank you, Arjun. Thank you for being part of this meeting. And for everybody, Arjun is our new treasurer. Congratulations, Arjun. All right. Please welcome the evaluator for prepared speech, Toastmaster Abhijit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hind. Avinash, this was your first ever speech in Toastmasters. I'm not sure if you've spoken in other forums, but looking at the way you spoke, I can definitely say that what took you so long to get started. I think you were a natural. Your R count, if I was also tasked with looking at your R counter, being an R counter and looking at how many R's and N's and fillers you use, as well as maybe look at some grammar usage. And I can say on the front of using R's and N's, you were kind of really clean. You hardly use any R's and N's. So that itself corroborates my earlier statement when I said that you are a natural when you come to speak. So I think that's something that you should really use that to come more and more in front of this virtual screen and virtual audience and speak more. Now, to talk about a few things that you did really well, I'll reserve the things that you can do better for the later part of my speech. You started with a quote. That's one of n number of different ways how you can really grab the attention onto yourself and put a spotlight on your head, and everybody starts paying attention because there's some wise words that are coming out of the speaker's mouth. So I think that's a great way to start. So you captured audience attention right away. You used humor when you introduced your native place. So I think that was definitely one more cementing your bond with the audience right away. So I think that's really good way of doing things. I really like your use of personal stories. The icebreaker is not necessarily about presenting some great content and really shining as a great content presenter, but it's more about audience getting to know about yourself. Use of personal stories is just like the right way to do that. And you used many small stories from different phases of your life. I think that kind of struck the right chord with the audience. So I think I would have to say kudos on that. Great job on sharing that with the audience and creating that rapport. One other thing that you did really well was good use of the stage space, so-called virtual stage space that we all have, right? You used your hands a lot when you were counting and when you were raising your hand in front of simulating when you did in the actual class. So I think that was great use of virtual space. something that we don't get a lot of. The real estate is very limited, but I think you did make use of it. So that's another great thing that you did. Okay. Now coming to things that you can do well. You've just gotten started. When we start, there's so much to learn, right? But I'll start with some things that you can start working on right away. The first thing is, I was looking for one common story that could connect all the mini stories. I think that they seemed very spaced out and very independent to be constructed in a common thread. And so I just missed that connection somewhere. That's something that you can maybe work on. The other thing is, you did well starting with a quote, but you rushed into it. So whenever you start with a quote, take your time, pause, and be slow so that people can really understand the quote. I definitely couldn't follow the full quote. A couple of other quick things specifically about this virtual environment. Don't look too much down or don't look too much up or close your eyes when you're presenting content. Now, this is a hard area to tackle because I am always confused. Should I look at this one person I'm talking to? Should I look at the green light and that's the hole from where everybody's seeing me? Where to look at? What tip one tip I got from somebody was to just look at the green light. That kind of is a simulation of eye contact. So maybe that's something you can try to do a bit more. The last thing would be, please use less distracting background with the Zoom. I might be biased, but I love looking at Golden Gate Bridge. I can look at it n number of times, so it's easy for people to get distracted and start looking other places. So maybe choose a less distracting Zoom background. But overall, I think it's a great start. You're off to a great start. The next year is for you to conquer. Just come back and give us more speeches. We definitely want to hear much more of you. All the best. Thank you.
I definitely second a lot of points that Abhijit mentioned. Amazing use of personal stories, and I already mentioned the the obedient part of you. That was a fascinating story for me because it was a new world, at least from where I stand. For now, we'll move on to our timer, who will let us know how this time we did with the timing of the meeting. For those who don't know, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows, we have not been great with the timings of the meetings in the past. Let's see how we did today. Timer Hillol, please.
Thanks, Hind. Fortunately, this time we have been really good with the timing. Almost everybody restricted themselves to the stipulated time, which is a very good thing. Starting with Raghav, your opening speech, you took 2 minutes 10 seconds, which is really good. Hind, presiding officer's note, you took 2 minutes 2 seconds. Good, really good. Election introduction, Hind, again, you took 1 minute 30 seconds. Yeah, which is within the stipulated time. Good. During the so-called election campaigning, Phil, you took 2 minutes 12 seconds within the time. Arjun, you took 1 minute 36 seconds. So the time that was given, I think it was 3 minutes. You could have taken some more time. Then Srini, you took just 56 seconds. You could have utilized rest of the time. Shreya, you took 2 minutes 17 seconds. Good. Hind, again, so this time it was for some VP role, VP of membership, I guess. So at that time it was 2 minutes 31 seconds you took, where 30 seconds of laughter was there. So I don't know I should count that or not. Anyways, next for VP of education, Sumedh, you took 2 minutes 40 seconds. Really good, you utilized your complete time. For presidential nomination, Sumedh, you took 2 minutes 20 seconds. Good. And Hind, you took 3 minutes 4 seconds. Really good. Coming to the evaluation part. Okay, coming to the icebreaker session. So that was something you took a bit more than your stipulated time. The stipulated time was 7, but that's okay. I think you were completely on flow, and even we were completely on flow listening to you. So anyways, and finally, while evaluating your speech, Abhijit took 4 minutes 12 seconds in place of 3 minutes. So that's what the timer evaluation is. Thank you. Over to Hind.
Thank you, Hillol. That was pretty exhaustive. You covered practically everybody. You covered me thrice, I think. Thank you very much for that. Amazing meeting. Thank you, everybody who showed up. Drum roll time. Finally, the time of announcing the new executive committee. We practically know every role except one. So how about I let Shreya announce every officer role for the next term. Over to you, Shreya.
Oh, thank you so much, Hind, for that impromptu invitation. All right, let me go to the list. So I'm guessing we will do president in the end because, why not, right? So starting with the SAA, congratulations, Phil, for being the SAA for the upcoming term. I'll keep going on announcing. Please keep on clapping. Treasurer Arjun, as has already been mentioned. Secretary, welcome Srinivasan to the executive committee. VP of PR, yay, I'll be taking up the role again. Congrats to myself. VP of membership, there was no second nomination there, so congratulations, Hind. Coming to the VP of education, again, no battle spot there. Congratulations, Sumedh. Now, come to the final meat of my speech here. What do you guys think? Who has won the the president role? Or do you guys
Abhijit.
think it is close?
Abhijit. I think everybody must have voted for Abhijit.
Yeah, we wish. So the next president of the orators in the Cloud Club for the next 6 months is going to be, drum rolls. Yes, it's going to be Hind Geel. Congratulations, Hind.
No concession speech though, right?
You can. I think we still have 3 minutes left. So you can say, 3 or 4, is it? Yeah.
I hope it was close, but if it wasn't, that's also fine. I look forward to working with him and making sure we get our ideas implemented in a better way. That's all.
Great.
Thank you all for voting for me. You chose wisely.
Already second guessing my decision.
All right.
Anyway,
Thank you.
handing it back to Hind now.
Thank you, Shreya. I will not eat much of your time. I totally understand from a listener's point of view. I have been speaking throughout this meeting, and I'm sorry for taking up almost an entire hour of you. But this was a very fruitful meeting as far as the executive committee of this club goes. We definitely look forward to having another 6 months as we keep on meeting virtually, as we keep on, but look at the bright side. It is because of these virtual meetings that we have our new sergeant at arms. Definitely looking forward to every executive committee member playing a very strong and a very significant role in moving this club forward, and not to mention every single member benefiting from the club in the way that they want to be benefited with. Thank you everyone for joining.